Look, Doc, it's been a week, and them boys ain't returned yet. We're gonna have to face facts. If we can't do nothing for Sally, she's as good as gone. Damn it, Caine, I've tried everything. I reckon she's got another week, maybe two at best, but if Sinclair and Torinobu don't get back here, well, I'm afraid that's about all for poor Sally Mason. Excuse me, boys, but I think I found someone who might be able to help out. See, with them boys not coming back, I went down to West Whittled myself, and I got that preacher man thinking he mightn't be able to help us with our situation. Damn it, Hardgate, I told you, there ain't no magic mumbo-jumbo that can fix all these broken bones and busted organs. Well now, I wouldn't be too sure about that if I were you. My name's Father O'Malley, and I might just have the answer you're looking for. Well, go ahead, preacher. We're about ready to try anything at this point. You fellas heard of the Crimson Hand cult, right? Those bad 'uns who've been travelling all over Brimstone, ruining everything, doing all sorts of evil magic. Heard of 'em? It's them damn fools that have got us in this situation in the first place, with their no-good shenanigans and their Shadow King. Aye, that be them. And they've been going round converting the Lord's flock to their evil cause, and I hate to say it, but they've been picking up more and more followers day by day. But I've had a few folks return to the light of the Lord and tell me about what they get up to. Seems the Crimson Hand run around the place, travelling to all these other worlds, stealing artifacts and magical items, so to speak. More magical mumbo-jumbo, praying over some ancient book or doing a crazy dance around some kind of strange statue ain't gonna help the girl. That's where you're wrong, Doc. I've seen these things with my own eyes. I've seen necklaces that glow with power and restore life to the dead. I've seen those cultists drink strange blue liquid that heals even the most grievous wounds. Your best chance to save this wee lassie is to hunt down the Crimson Hand cult and take a bunch of those artifacts they have. Maybe one of 'em can do the trick. And I reckon Father O'Malley here is on to something, and if we can capture one of the bastards, maybe we can beat the answers out of him of how to use these magic relics and whatnot to save the girl. Well, Doc, I don't think we got any other choice. If you want to stay here and tend to the girl, that's just fine, but I'm gonna go looking for the Crimson Hand. There's no need to go looking. One of my converts that I got back from their evil grasp keeps an eye on things. They still have a little bit of an inside knowledge of what goes on with the Crimson Hand. There's a gang of 'em camped out doing rituals up past the ruins of old Brimstone in a place they call the Hellmouth. Well now, I reckon that's the best lead we've had ever since Torinobu and Mr. Sinclair left on their adventure. I guess we're both in for it then, aren't we, Caine? I'm gonna have to come with you, on account of, if you get injured, who's gonna fix you up if I'm not there? And without you, there ain't no one keeping Seraphin safe from all these damn monsters. You won't be alone, boys. I'll be coming with you, too. My deputies should be able to handle things around here for a few days, and I reckon this Crimson Hand is going to be more than Mr. Winters can handle by himself. And ain't no offense intended, Doc, but I doubt you'll be much good in a fight. I'll stay here and watch over your town while you're gone. I can say prayers for the girl and give blessings to the people. This place will remain untouched by those vile creatures and that insidious man in black. Mark my words, Seraphin will remain safe while you're gone. All right, I reckon that's the decision made. Come on, boys, let's saddle up and get this done with. Diary of Caine Winters, August 6th to August 10th, 1876. The Doc and I are making one last effort to save Sally Mason before she succumbs to her terrible wounds. The preacher man said we might find some artifacts and relics held by the Crimson Hand cult up past the ruins of old Brimstone. It's a dangerous area, but we'll make the trek. It's only a few days' ride, and Marshal Hardgate said he'd come along with us to make sure we stay safe. I'm not sure just how safe that drunk old Marshal can keep us, but any help is welcome. We spent the day heading north, following the train tracks. But the damn terrible weather slowed us down, and we had to set up camp a little way from Stone's Crossing. The next day, as we headed out along the road, we came across a strange man camping out near the edge of the desert. He said he was on his way to the Copper Hill Canyons in search of treasure. He seemed greatly inclined for us to join him, and when we explained to him how dangerous the Copper Hill Canyons are, and that we had our own mission to be on, the man just kept talking and wasted most of our day. There was something strange and hypnotic about his words, and we found ourselves unable just to up and leave the conversation. With most of our day wasted, we headed to Fort Burke and stayed there for the night, knowing it'd be safe. But none of us were happy about being delayed so much. Poor Sally, she must be struggling back at Seraphim. I hope that preacher is keeping her well. The next day we rode our horses hard, hoping to make up for lost time. But as we came to the tracks near Last Chance, we came across a ruined train that looked as if it had been there for decades, rusted and busted open. The doc said it was damn impossible for the thing to look like this. Those tracks had only been laid 20 years earlier, and there's no way the elements could do this to a steam engine in the time it had been here. I fear, as we get closer to the ruins of Brimstone, we're going to come across more and more strange occurrences like this. But luckily, we were able to make it past Last Chance and set up camp for the night. The Hellmouth isn't too far away, and I reckon we'll make it there tomorrow. But I don't reckon any of us are going to get a good night's sleep, as there's some damn strange noises coming from the nearby canyons. I used to say folks were crazy for believing in ghosts, but after everything I've seen, well, I damn well hope it's ghosts and nothing worse. This morning, we set out, tired and disheveled after the bad night's sleep. But the Hellmouth is in sight. We'll be there soon, and God willing, we can find something to help Sally Mason. And if we do, we're gonna have to ride these horses harder than a Comanche to get back to Seraphim in time. I just hope it's not too late. Well, boys, come on. This is the place. Let's get moving. Right you are, Marshal Hardgate. You stay with the doc. I'll move ahead. Scout the area and make sure everything's safe. You just make sure the doc stays safe. I'm no stranger to defending myself, you know, Mr. Winters. I don't need a babysitter. That may be, Doc, but out of the three of us, you're the most important one to make it back there. If anything happens to me or the Marshal, you get out of there, you understand? You get back to Seraphim and do everything you can to keep everyone in that town safe. I understand, Mr. Winters, but trust me, we're all going home safe from this. All right, boys, come on. Let's get moving. We ain't got no time to waste. Caine Winters leads the way into the yawning darkness of the Hellmouth Mines, followed by Marshal Hardgate and the doc as Caine stops outside the entrance to inspect some debris. Hardgate pulls ahead of him, entering into the deep blackness of the mines. The doc follows cautiously behind and emerges into a blast room. Marshal Hardgate sees several figures emerge from the shadows, wearing the black cloaks of the Crimson Hand cult.
Trespassers in our mine, kill 'em all!
Before the Crimson Hand even have chance to raise their rifles, Caine Winters strides forward and looses a flurry of shots from his revolver, gunning one of the cultists down where he stands and injuring two others. Then, as the panic-stricken cultists raise their rifles, Hardgate opens fire with his shotgun and blasts one of them apart. The doc steps forward, taking cover behind Hardgate, and hurls a stick of dynamite that flies off to one side. But the blast shakes the earth, and the force of the impact is enough to kill another of the cultists. The Crimson Hand return fire. Clumsy shots ring out from their rifles. The bullet scrapes hard on the shoulder. Then they move in, charging
both the Marshal and Caine Winters. They attack them with the butts of their rifles, but the Marshal and the gunslinger are too quick for them, managing to fend off their blows and avoid any further damage. Caine Winters unloads the last of his revolver cylinder into the belly of the cultist attacking him, and the evil worshipper falls to the ground in a pool of blood, gurgling his last breaths. Then the Doc steps forward, drawing his medical bone saw and putting it to an ulterior use, sawing straight through the neck of another of the Crimson Hand cultists. The man's eyes go glassy as he falls to the ground in a heap. Then, before the final cultist can react, Hardgate pulls away from him, takes to a better firing position, and blasts him apart with his shotgun.
Well, I guess that's our welcoming committee.
Come on, let's get moving. If there's anything in here, we've got to find it and then get out of this place. I don't want to stay here any longer than we have to.
I gotta say, I agree with you, Doc. Come on, let's keep going.
The Doc moves towards an opening that leads deeper into the mines, and then Caine Winters follows him, soon joined by Marshal Hardgate. They regroup and then decide to venture on. Caine Winters, holding the glowing lantern, leads the way. He finds himself emerging into a rail tunnel, followed closely by the Marshal, who sweeps the room with his shotgun, checking for danger. Then, knowing the room is safe, the Doc follows them. Inside, they find an old prospector in the mines. He looks at them with a suspicious glare.
What are you doing in these mines, sir? Don't you know this place is being used by evil cult worshippers? Says the Doc.
Well, dang nabbit, of course it is. Most of the mines around these parts are inhabited by some form of evil or another these days. But I gotta find me one of them portals that are out here.
Portals? What kind of portals you be looking for, mister?
One of them there void gates. I've been through a few of them, and they lead to all kinds of treasure.
Ain't you worried about the danger?
Look, Sonny, I fought in the war. I'll be just fine. They call me Prospector Pete, and I'm gonna go find my fortune. I tell you that for nothing.
Well, good luck to you, mister. I hope you stay safe. Say, we heard that some of these Crimson Hand fellas down here have got all kinds of magical artifacts that can heal the grievous wounded.
Yep, they surely do. I've seen them using it. Call it the water of life, they do. They're like these magic blue potions out of a fairy tale. They drink them up, and it heals all kinds of sickness and injury. You wouldn't believe it. It's like the Lord's work.
You happen to know where we can find any of this stuff?
Well, if you carry on down yonder, you'll get closer to their lair. I heard 'em praying and chanting and whatnot down there, so I thought I'd best avoid that direction. But if they got any of the water of life, it'll surely be with 'em down there.
Well, thanks for the tip, Mr. Prospector Pete. You have a good day, sir.
And you young'uns too. Hey, would you look at that? The portal I've been looking for, it's just over there. Huh, I can't believe I didn't see it before. Well, goodbye, fellas.
With that, the prospector steps through the glowing blue portal and disappears.
Alright, come on, let's get moving, fellas.
The trio continue on their way and enter a room that is filled with crates of dynamite and barrels of gunpowder, much of it spilling out onto the floor. Some of this could be useful, but they realize they had better tread lightly, as it seems quite unstable. The Doc, nervous of the unstable explosives, decides not to try and gather any of the dynamite. Caine Winters considers it and then thinks better of it. However, Marshal Hardgate decides the more dynamite they have, the better, and with a little luck on his side, he manages to find one stable stick of the explosives.
Alright, come on, fellas. That prospector said that we'd find that water of life down this way. Let's get going,
says Caine Winters as he heads off in the direction indicated by Prospector Pete. He emerges into a corner passage and is followed quickly by Hardgate and the Doc. Caine continues leading the way around the corner and enters Carrion Burrows. Hardgate follows, pulling ahead of the gunslinger and sweeping his shotgun around the room, with the Doc tentatively following behind. Small towers of sand and rock rise up from the cavern floor. Each has a series of small holes around the sides and top. Something doesn't smell right. As they pass through the room, Caine Winters disturbs one of these strange hives, and carrion beetles come swarming out of the sandy towers, filling the floor and walls like a black tide of carnage. All three of the men take a few superficial bites, but are mostly unharmed by the beetles. However, Hardgate curses in anger as the beetles steal the stick of dynamite he just found and carry it off into the darkness.
Damn beetles! Give me back my dynamite, you little buggers!
Unfortunately, the carrion beetles appear not to be the only thing that Caine Winters disturbed, as the sandy floor begins to shake, and with a guttural fury, two gigantic sand crabs burst up out of the ground, their chitinous hide reflecting in the lantern light.
Where the damn hell did you come from?
Says Hardgate, preparing his shotgun. Caine Winters is quick to move away, trying to escape the snapping claws of the sand crabs. He unloads with his revolver, with the coffin echo around the mine, but the bullets barely even penetrate the thick armor of the sand crab, and appear to enrage the beast more than they do hurt it. Then the sand crabs strike, one of them going for the dock. Its snapping claws narrowly miss his throat. The other scrapes a long, serrated piece of its chitinous armor down Caine Winters' arm, cutting all of the gunslinger knows it isn't severe, and a bandage ought to fix him right up. Hardgate steps away from the creature and backs up, getting a better aim with his shotgun. He squeezes both triggers at once, and the massive buckshot blasts away a huge chunk of its armored hide. The dock sidesteps, moving around the sand crab attacking him, and gets behind it, before going to work on the gigantic creature's armor with his bone saw. Then, Caine Winters plucks the dead-eyed shot cartridges from his belt, slaps them into his revolver, and spins the cylinder, before unloading into the exposed flesh of the sand crab. That Hardgate blasts away with his shotgun. The bullets punch straight into its flesh, and the creature screams in pain before dying. However, the second the sand crab rushes at Caine Winters, its snapping claws latch onto his arms and cut deeply into his biceps. He manages to struggle free before blood loss overtakes him and he collapses unconscious. Hardgate steps forwards and, targeting the damaged armor that the dock had sawed away at earlier, he unloads his shotgun once more. The sand crab's innards are blasted into jelly as it collapses and dies in the sand. The dock goes over to Caine Winters, and with liberal use of medicine and his medical tools, he manages to get the gunslinger back on his feet.
Thanks, Doc. I thought I was a goner there.
I suppose it is a good job I came along too after all, huh?
Yeah, you were right about that, Doc. Now come on, let's keep moving. We've got to get out of here.
Caine Winters leads the way once more, ignoring the dull throb in his arms. The marshal and the doc follow him, and they emerge into another rail tunnel. On one side of the chamber, the wall is broken away to reveal a fast-flowing underground river. But something is not quite right. Shining the light on the water, Winters and his companions are aghast to discover it is a river of blood. A dark object catches his eye, riding the current just below the surface. The doc leans in close to get a better look, and suddenly is pulled in. He manages to drag himself back out, coughing and covered in thick blood. My God, this place is awful. I saw things under the blood. I don't know what they were. We got to get out of here, fellas. This is too much.
Pull yourself together, man. We got to save that little girl. We need you to do it, Doc. We need your help. Can't do it without you. You've already proved your worth.
All right. I'll be okay. Just give me a second. I just got to collect myself. While the doc gathers his wits, Caine Winters finds a large banner hanging from the wall, depicting a blood-red hand with its fingers splayed out, save for the two central figures, which are pressed tightly together. He knows this symbol. He's seen it before, the Order of the Crimson Hand.
We're getting close now. This is their sign, and if they got this river of blood running through here, who knows what other evil they may have awakened. Let's get moving.
Caine Winters pushes forwards into the center of the room, and Marshal Hardgate follows the bloody river upstream towards another yawning passageway that leads off into the darkness, where they can hear an eerie, faint chanting. The doc follows tentatively, preparing his medicine bag for whatever lies ahead. Caine and the Marshal both move up to the opening that leads into the unknown. The doc catches up to them. The three men prepare themselves for whatever lies at the end of this tunnel. Caine steps forwards, and passing beyond the veil of darkness, finds himself in a strange summoning chamber, no doubt the headquarters of the Crimson Hand. As if to confirm this, a group of the darkly clad demon worshippers turn around from whatever horrendous ritual they were enacting.
How did you get in here? Well, no matter. You'll make a great first meal for the beast.
One of them snarls. They prepare to open fire, but Caine Winters is much quicker on the draw. Down where he stands. The doc moves behind Caine and plucks another stick of dynamite from his bag. He takes careful aim this time and hurls it with pinpoint accuracy. It lands between a trio of the Crimson Hand. And 3 of the Crimson Hand are blasted apart in the explosion. Hardgate opens fire with his shotgun. In bloom, he misses, and the remaining cultists prepare to counterattack. They open fire. Their poor accuracy sends all the shots flying wide. However, that does not stop them from charging straight at the Marshal and the gunslinger. They batter at them with fists and rifles. The Marshal manages to fend off the blows, but Caine Winters is not so lucky, as he takes a couple of nasty thumps to his stomach. He quickly recovers and opens fire, gunning down another of the Crimson Hand cultists right in front of him. Then Marshal Hardgate, at point-blank range, pulls the triggers on his shotgun, only to realise he forgot to reload it, and the hammers fall empty. The Crimson Hand in front of him laughs ghoulishly and fires his rifle. The bullet pierces the stomach of the Marshal, and he collapses in a heap, gasping for air, struggling to remain conscious. Caine Winters manages to fend off his own attacker, and then, with lightning speed, turns and opens fire on Hardgate's attacker. One of his bullets punches the cultist straight through the head and leaves him lying on the floor staring at the ceiling with glassy eyes. The doc runs over to Hardgate to attend to his wounds and manages to help the Marshal back to his feet. As the 2 remaining cultists are about to attack them, a deep, monstrous growl emerges from the depths of the stomach chamber.
You're in for it now. The ritual is complete. The beast has awoken. You're all gonna die now. Let's get out of here before it gets us too. Grab that water of life. These damn interlopers have shot me.
One of the Crimson Hand scrabbles about in the corner of the chamber, collecting a bottle of blue liquid. However, as he returns to the fight, hoping to help out his injured companion, the Marshal blasts him with his shotgun.
That's gotta be it. That's gotta be that water of life that prospector was talking about,
he says, pointing at the dead man on the ground, the bottle still gripped in his dead hand. In the distance, something begins to emerge from the darkness, something big and grotesque, growling, a guttural, bestial growl. Before the last remaining cultist can react, the Marshal turns on him and unloads the second barrel of his shotgun straight into his chest. It sends him tumbling to the ground in a heap. Then the beast steps forwards into the light, its arms long, writhing, muscular tentacles, and from its gaping maw, a series of slimy pink appendages writhe and test the air, searching for prey.
Quick, grab the bottles, and then let's get the hell out of here, says the doc. I got him. Cover me, Winters.
The terror is too much for the doc, and he begins to flee back into the mines, heading for the exits. Caine Winters opens fire, his bullet bounces calmly off the thick hide of the creature attacking them. It stalks towards them, just as Marshal Hardgate reaches down and grabs the bottle of blue liquid.
I got it. Come on, let's get out of here.
As the Marshal turns to flee, suddenly the creature's writhing appendages grasp at him, wrap around his legs, pulling him up towards its gaping maw. He fires with his shotgun, but it's to no effect. The creature doesn't even seem to notice it.
Here, take the bottle. Get out of here,
Hardgate yells, throwing the water of life to Caine Winters. Caine catches it and unloads the last of his bullets at the beast.
I ain't leaving you, Marshal. We're getting out of here together,
Caine says as he begins to reload his revolver. But quickly, he realizes he will not be able to keep that promise as the immense strength of the creature's tentacles tighten around the Marshal's limbs. He hears bones snapping.
Get out of here, you dang fool,
gurgles the Marshal as blood begins to spill from his mouth. And then, quite suddenly, there is a wet popping sound, and a gigantic beast hurls the Marshal's lifeless corpse deeper into the summoning chamber. Caine turns and flees. The gigantic beast screams with predatory hunger and begins to chase him. It pursues him clumsily through the mines, and Caine sprints hard, his entire body aching, until finally he catches up with the dock near the entrance and emerges into the daylight. "Come on, Mr. Winters, we gotta get out of here. Where's the marshal?" "That damn thing got him. Come on, Doc, we gotta go. Gotta go before that thing catches up to us." The two men flee, gasping for air, as the gigantic creature emerges from the mines behind them. It takes a few steps into the daylight, and then screams, seemingly in pain, from the purifying rays of the sun. The Doc and the gunslinger don't stop or turn back, and continue to flee towards their waiting horses. The beast gives one more defiant roar, and then turns around, stomping back into the mines. "Did you get the water of life?" "Yeah, I got it. Damn poor Marshall lost his life for it, though. Come on, we're gonna have to ride hard to get back to Seraphim. Hopefully, it'll be worth his sacrifice." "I sure hope so, Mr. Winters." "Come on, let's ride."